Hello and welcome to the Charles Cook Podcast. Thank you for joining me today. And oh my Lord, we got a representative who won't say the Pledge of Allegiance. You know, that's terrible. Well, I think it's, on him that he won't say the Pledge of Allegiance. But I think there's far worse things. And we're going to talk about this. So, this week we had a state representative from Nashville. His name is Justin Jones. Some of you probably remember him as part of the Tennessee Three. He he's got a reputation for doing whatever he does, whatever. But if he chooses not to take part in the Pledge of Allegiance, that's on him. And you know that's between him and his constituents, the people that elect him to office. Let them deal with that. I'm going to show the video and show what happens, and then I'm going to talk a little bit about it. I'm not going to go into great detail because I did back when I started uh, posting videos and making these videos when my Facebook page was called the Midnight Rider and stuff. I've got a video, and I will attach that video. I will put that link in the descriptions, and you can go watch that video on how I feel about these things. But I'm going to play this video, and I want you to see exactly what happened. So people can say, "Oh, you're not being honest with that, Charles." I always bring the receipts and let you see them. So I'm going to share this. Bring this up. And so this is Justin Jones there in the well. He has a person that he brought in to say the prayer. And as custom, after you have the person that you bring in to say the prayer, then that representative that brought the person in usually leads the House or the legislature in the state House of Representatives in the Pledge of Allegiance. But Mr. Jones chose not to, and we'll see the video here.
Representative Jones has declined to say the prayer. He asked for someone else for their assistance. Mayor Camper, are you asking to help him lead the prayer?
Yes, sir.
There you go.
Pledge. Salute. Pledge. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. So, no fireworks, He just declined not to do it. But lo and behold, we have Jeremy Faison from here, Hamilton County, Cobb County, whatever, calling for him to resign his seat from office because he refused to lead and take part in the Pledge of Allegiance. I'm going to try to be calm here and not go all full Alex Jones. As I said, I'll sing the national anthem. I'll say the Pledge of Allegiance. I have no problem with that. But I'm going to tell you this: this gentleman has a right not to do that. You might not like it, but he does. But I'm going to go even further than this. It is not the Pledge of Allegiance that is the rule of law in this country. Okay? The Pledge of Allegiance, many people don't know this because they don't understand, they don't truly know the history of the United States. The Pledge of Allegiance was not something that our founding fathers come up with, none whatsoever. The Pledge of Allegiance was written by a socialist. his name is, got the person's name. It's in my other video. But it was written by a socialist, uh, Francis Bellamy. There it is. And the socialists wrote the Pledge of Allegiance to boost flag sales in the United States. That's why the Pledge of Allegiance was written. And then One Nation Under God was put in the 50s, the 1950s, under the Eisenhower administration because of the threat of communism. The rule of law and what we're supposed to be going by is the Constitution of the United States and the state constitution. And for me to hear someone calling for another politician to resign because of not saying the Pledge of Allegiance, yet they know that every time they go to Nashville, they're voting in violation of their oath of the United States Constitution and the state of Tennessee Constitution. They sat there and support a governor, Bill Lee, the Republican, the so-called conservative Republican governor that we have in this state, who violated the rights of the people of Tennessee during COVID, shutting down businesses, shutting down the schools, and everything else that he did, violated those rights. Not one of these Republicans have called for his resignation. Not one of them has called for an apology to the people of the state. Do you understand why I'm upset? This drives me insane. They play this political gamesmanship so they can come back to their constituents in their district and say, well, I called for his resignation. This is what I did because I'm an American. Yet they violate this every time. Every time they're down there. They violate the U.S. Constitution and the Tennessee Constitution with anti-gun laws and giving money, taxing the state, the citizens of this state, and giving their money to private corporations like Ford. $1 billion of taxpayer money. And then they turn around and pushing these EV, electric vehicles and stuff. It makes me sick to hear this. And people get all wrapped up in, well, this liberal Democrat refuses to say the Pledge of Allegiance. Well, that's between him and his constituents. And I'm no fan of it myself, but we got far more worse things going on in this state and in this country than that. If the people in his district don't like it, let them vote him out. But when are we going to start calling for these people to resign that violate their oath of office to the Constitution? Quit playing these games. Come on. I'm sick of it. As I said, we have a governor down here in Nashville, the governor of this state, who trampled on the rights of the people during COVID. He still hasn't given up his emergency powers, and the legislature has done nothing to keep it from happening again. Ticks me off. And we're worried about Mr. Jones not saying the pledge. Folks, these people, we got to get control of these people. They're playing politics. They come home and they do this. It looks good. And most people see, oh, he got news coverage because he hollered for this, called for him to resign. And they play it both ways in their districts. The Democrat plays it in his district. The Republican plays it in his district. And in the end, we're getting trampled on. Mark Twain said, I got a great quote from him. Let me pull this up and read it to you. It is so great, and it is very true. No man's life, liberty, or property are safe while the legislature is in session. That's from Mark Twain. And man, is it ever true? These guys go down here, they'll have a bill, one of Jeremy Fason's bills about raw milk. Being able to, a farmer to sell raw milk and stuff. Violating the farmer's right to sell something from his farm. Trampling on our rights, our God-given rights. And we're worried about stuff like this. Yeah, it don't look good for Justin Jones to do that. But like I said, that's between him and his constituents. We got to hold people accountable for what they're doing, our representatives. There is nothing I can do for Justin Jones. I can't vote for him, can't vote against him. But I can vote for the person that represents me, or I can vote against the person. We got to get real with this stuff and quit playing these games. Constitution is what it's about. And as I said, I will post that earlier video that I did probably 2.5 years ago. I can't remember for sure, but it deals with this and it tells you about, the Pledge of Allegiance and everything. It was written by a socialist. The Constitution is the rule of law. The flag is just the symbol of our country. This is what should be guiding these politicians. This is what the standard that we should be holding them to. Nowhere in this Constitution does it say that a politician has to recite the Pledge of Allegiance, because it wasn't a thing. Little history lesson. And everybody talks about our kids being indoctrinated. They don't realize what you missed, what we missed, what we weren't taught in the good old American history class. Okay. I'll try to keep my blood pressure back down. I'm just tired of these games. Our country is going to pot. It's falling apart. There's evil running rampant in this country, in this state, and we're worried about stuff like this. Thank you for joining me. Check for the link in the description to the previous video. God bless you. Please pray for our country, our state, and our community, and each other. Thank you for joining me. Bye-bye.